Hey up everyone, welcome back to the Rugby League History channel. Today on the channel I'll be doing my tips for round 19 of the 2024 NRL season. This is going to be another Origin affected round, lots of players out for a few teams with the decider happening next Wednesday. So I think it's going to be another hard round of tipping due to them players being out, but we're going to give it our best shot anyway. And let's start off with the first match, which is happening between South Sydney and Redcliffe. And the first match is between Redcliffe and South, and this one's being played at KO Stadium in Redcliffe on the Thursday. Redcliffe currently sat in the finals positions there. South Sydney in 13th place, and they've won 5 matches in a row, which I think a few weeks ago people wouldn't have expected that to happen. This will be an Origin and injury depleted game. There'll be a few players out from both sides. From what I've seen from Redcliffe this year, though, when they are missing players, they seem to back up. It seems like the players that they get in to replace the usual first graders are of good standard. And South Sydney, with them, look, they have won 5 matches in a row, but they've beaten Parramatta twice, they beat the Gold Coast, and they beat a Manly side without Daly Cherry Evans and a couple of other players. Their only real impressive win for me was that win over Brisbane. I think despite the players being out, this will be a good game to watch if you're a neutral or whatever. I'm leaning more towards Redcliffe with the home side, and I probably will go for Redcliffe to win this game. I'll go for them to win by 112 points. The second match is between Cronulla Sutherland and West Tigers. This one's being played on the Friday night at Shark Park. Cronulla are in 4th at the moment, and West Tigers are equal last, but they're officially bottom due to their 4 against. I think this is the only match of the round where it's not impacted by Origin at all. I don't think that there's any players from Cronulla or West Tigers that have been selected for State of Origin. Last week, Cronulla had a disappointing loss against the Gold Coast in Coffs Harbour, and with West Tigers, I think, yeah, they put in a bit of a shift against Melbourne, but I don't think they were ever going to win that game. They made the scoreline a bit more respectable at the end there. They got a late try, which meant that it wasn't going to be a 13+ result. But yeah, I think they started off well against Melbourne, but they just couldn't match it with them for 80 minutes. I have read reports that Nico Hines suffered a freak injury at training or something like that. I don't know whether that's confirmed or not. For this game, this was a real banana skin game for Cronulla because they played West Tigers earlier in the year, and I think when West Tigers beat them at Leichhardt, it was West Tigers' best performance of the year. They pretty much outclassed Cronulla for the whole 80 minutes. So this is a real banana skin game for Cronulla. But I will take the wuss bet. I'll take the easy way out. I'll go for Cronulla to win this game by 112 points. I wouldn't be surprised if West Tigers sprung an upset. I'm hoping they don't as a Parramatta supporter, but we'll just have to see what happens on Friday. The third match of the round happens on Super Saturday, the first of 2 games. This one is between Gold Coast and Parramatta. This one's being played at Seabus Super Stadium. Gold Coast in 15th at the moment and Parramatta in 16th. Parramatta have lost their last 4 matches in a row in the league. Gold Coast have won 2 in a row. Last week, Gold Coast had a good win against Cronulla, and with Parramatta once again, they were in the game against South, but it was just the same. Certain individuals and just not owning the moments and not being switched on, and just the little things really cost Power in the end. Just today, it were announced that Jason Riles will be the new head coach of Parramatta. He signed a 4-year deal, so at least from a club perspective and from a playing group perspective, everyone knows who's going to be the head coach for next year. With Origin duty, Mitchell Moses has been picked for New South Wales again for Parramatta, and with the Gold Coast, they've got 1 or 2 players that have been selected. With Power as well, Juni Paulo has been ruled out for 8 weeks with a Liz Frank injury, so his season's pretty much over. The matches between Gold Coast and Parramatta over the last couple of years have been very high scoring, very close. This match also has an extra personal flavour for myself because before the season started, a YouTuber who supports the Gold Coast did a ranking organisation video, and he basically said Parramatta's the worst team in the NRL, or the worst club. And he didn't say just this year, he just said like in the history of the competition they're the worst team. So I would love for Parramatta to beat the Gold Coast on Saturday, but with Mitchell Moses out and with how they've been playing, I don't really see it. And yeah, the last couple of weeks haven't been good, so I'm going to go for the Gold Coast to win 13+ on the Saturday. And the second game on Super Saturday is between Brisbane and St George. This one's being played at Suncorp Stadium. Last week, Brisbane had a narrow loss against Penrith, and now they've lost, I think, 4 or 5 matches in a row, and they sit below St George on the table. As for St George, they got battered again by Sydney Roosters, so I think on aggregate, they've conceded over 100 points against them in 2 games, which isn't good. This is an origin-affected match. There won't be a lot of players for both sides there. But with St George, as I said before, they rely so heavily on Ben Hunt. He's not going to be there. I mean, eventually Brisbane have to win a game, don't they? Because it's getting ridiculous. So, for me, even though Brisbane haven't been playing well, and St George are a bit of a tricky team, I think I'm going to go for Brisbane to win by 1 or 12 points on the Saturday. And the final game to close out the round is on Sunday, and it's between Manly-Warringah and Newcastle. This one's being played at Brookvale Oval. Both of these sides come into the match with a win, and in both of the games, I think they can consider themselves lucky. I watched the highlights against the North Queensland and Manly game, and North Queensland had so many chances to seal that game and they just couldn't do it. As for Newcastle, there was that knock-on right at the end where Canberra could have scored, but they dropped the ball. So the result could have been different. This is an origin-affected game as well. Both sides will be missing players, especially 2 of the biggest players for both clubs won't be there. Caelan Ponga for Newcastle, Cherry Evans for Manly. I read a stat I was reading on Rugby League Project that Newcastle have only ever won 4 times at Brookvale Oval since 1988. So not a happy hunting ground for them. For this game, even though last time out Manly looked so flat without Cherry Evans against South, I'm going to tip Manly to win by 1 to 12 points. I think just coupled in with that and the hoodoo of Newcastle having such a bad record at Brookvale Oval, I'm going to go for Manly to win. So those are my tips for round 19 of the 2024 NRL season. Hope you enjoyed them. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know who you're tipping, and also place your margins and everything like that in the comment section below. Thanks to everyone that watched my video last week. It got over 2,000 views. Very good view numbers, lots of engagement, really happy with that. And thanks to everyone that's recently subscribed to the channel. Anyways, this has been Rugby League History, and I will catch you all later in the next one. Alright, ta-ra for now.